All right, I know exactly what you are thinking. You are looking at this video in the hopes that I'm going to share with you one magical niche. All right, this niche will change the game for you. You'll be able to just jump into this niche yourself, copy what I did, and this also might make you over $1 million with your own SMMA or social media marketing agency. I know you because that's exactly what I used to. That is what I would have done. I had watched many videos just like this video that talked about the best or the top niches for SMMA. And there's one thing I learned from all of those videos, because everybody in those videos was telling me something different, right? One guy was saying these niches were saturated and dead, and you should only work with this specific list of 3 to 5 niches. Another guy would contradict that. He'd say the complete opposite. And when I actually started my own agency and I got into the industry, and I was speaking with people that were doing 10,000 per month, people that were doing 20, 30, up to 50,000 per month with their agencies, I noticed something again. 2 things. I noticed number 1, not everybody had a niche. Some people worked with all different types of clients. And then some people did have niches, but the people that did have niches, a lot of those niches were, guess what? The niches that some of the people were saying were saturated. So I know that was your intention coming to this video. And I don't want to dupe you or make you feel like there is only a certain number of niches that you have to work with, and they're the only ones that will work. It's BS. It's not true. So let's look at the people that I met that had no niche. They had one client that was a gym. They had another client that was a beauty salon. And they had 10 other clients that were all in different industries. This is myth number 1. You do not need a niche. Now, back in the day when I first started making content on YouTube, I really believed that you needed to have a niche. In fact, I had videos where I would suggest that you would niche down from day 1. And I still believe that having one niche will serve you in the long run. Right, running a 50K a month agency with a niche versus a 50K a month agency with no niche, it's like comparing apples and oranges, completely different things, 2 different beasts. One niche, in my opinion, is better long term. But let's just touch on what you actually do not need a niche to get started. You see, when you get started, you really don't truly know much, right? You don't know much about how much to charge, how to deliver the best service, really that much at all. You know the basics, and that's how you're able to get started. And that's the beauty of this game, because you can get started with not knowing every single detail. But it would be very, very silly for us to think that we could predict when we're at 0 per month how it would look like to work with 20 clients in a very specific niche, a certain industry, let's say. Whereas, let's just say my first 10 clients were all random. You know, I had one that was a gym, one a beauty salon, and one was a fitness coach, right? That's going to give me different insights. It's going to give me insights into what type of industry I like, which ones I really do not like, which ones there's a lot of red tape and legislation about what you can say online and what you can't say, and which ones actually need my service. And so I learned this lesson a little bit further down my journey. We got referred, okay, referred. We didn't reach out to this business. We got referred to a CBD business. We'd never worked with a CBD business before. In fact, I barely knew what CBD was. I just knew it was not weed, but it wasn't not weed. And we took on the client because it was a referral, and it was just, in fact, one of our first clients. So, you know, money coming my way, I wasn't going to say no. So I took the client on, and then I started to research, okay, figure out actually what is this thing, what do they sell, how does it work, etc. What I realized very, very quickly, 2 things. Number 1, it was a very regulated industry. We couldn't just make very bold claims on the internet because it's a food product, it's a supplement, it's something you ingest. So we have to be very, very careful about what we put in content, types of videos and graphics we made and what we would write. That was number 1. The second thing we realized was that this was also a regulated industry where you couldn't run advertisements to CBD product. There were ways of getting around this, but very complicated. So for most CBD business owners, they understood I cannot run ads on Instagram, on Facebook, on Google, which really leaves you with one very clear option if you want to grow your business, right? That's to grow it organically on social media. And so this industry, CBD, turned out to be one of the niches that worked for us a long term. One industry that we really just put a lot of focus on, because from a sales perspective, we knew we could get clients easily. They don't have many other options. The guys that are reaching out to them running Facebook ads won't be able to sign them, right? Because legally they just cannot run ads. Again, ways around it, but very tricky, very complex. So from a sales perspective, we just have to position, look, this is your option. You can't go and do the ads route. So your backup plan is organic social media. So from a sales perspective, it checked out. From a service delivery perspective, it also checked out, because I knew if I can get decent at understanding the CBD industry, and then we can get a couple of clients on board and deliver a decent result for them, we will now have the proof and the understanding that other agencies won't have. Because let's say you wanted to charge half of the price I was charging, and you would go to the same CBD company. By them knowing that it's a very regulated industry and they've got to be very careful about what they say, they're probably going to go with me because I'm the one who actually knows now what I should be saying and what I can say, right? Because I've got my track record, my proof of clients. So this is an example of how sometimes not having a niche can be one of the best things ever. Now, for my agency, for full transparency, we did work in the fitness industry. That was our niche. We worked with coaches, online coaches, PTs, trainers, and then we worked with supplement companies. CBD just taking up a big chunk of the supplement companies we worked with. So it wasn't completely outside of our realm, right? It's still related. It was still health focused. It was still within the fitness industry. But if I had shut my eyes to the possibility of taking in a CBD client because my original thought was just to work with fitness coaches, I wouldn't have then been able to sign what turned out to be close to 100 CBD companies in around 3 years. We have a saying in my program, it's that if you don't niche down, your niche will find you. There's going to come a point where you will probably need to transition from one niche or from no niche to one niche. And I do truly strongly believe you should do this, because if you work with 10 different clients in 10 different industries, it is going to be a complexity and a service delivery nightmare when you scale that up. One niche is going to give you clarity. It's going to give you predictability. You might have heard me mention that with the CBD client. This helped us really with our service delivery, because if I've delivered good content for 10 CBD companies, when I get my 11th company on board, I'm not going to copy what I did for the 10, but I'll take inspiration from that. I've got all the ideas done, all the strategy is done, all the content is done. I can take some of the inspiration from that for this new client. Less money I got to pay my team, less headspace for me, and less time to deliver a service. So my profit per client and ease of serving clients is just way higher. And there's a word that you need to eradicate from your brain when it comes to a niche or an industry or a type of business that you potentially want to work with. It's the S word, saturated. When I started 2019, I was told fitness coaches was a saturated niche. I was told it wouldn't work. There was too many of them out there with too many agencies working with them. And fitness coaches, it's a bit of a unique industry where those coaches normally have business coaches. So when they saw me approaching them as a social media marketer, most of them would say, hey, look, got that covered already. I've got my business coach. Well, I was told it was saturated. My student success manager runs an agency and he works with a lot of real estate professionals, real estate agents out in the US. And guess what? When he started that in and around 2020 to 21, that was also a saturated niche, one that people said wouldn't work. So when you hear this word, just realize it's BS. Okay, it doesn't matter. Of course, there are industries where there's more competition and there are industries where there's less competition. But if you can just be really good in one industry, it doesn't matter. So now you know, this is the process I followed to figure out what type of industry was going to work for my agency. And knowing the fundamentals and really the truth about what a niche is and how to find the right niche, I'm hoping that you can go on to do the same. Really, truly, my main hope is that you can actually just start, because you came into this video, again, I know you, right? You're looking for that golden niche. It'll solve all your problems. It'll make outreach easy, service delivery easy. The business will be easy. And it doesn't exist. You do have to find that niche for yourself. And one of the easiest ways to go ahead and get that started is go out there, get some clients on board in different industries, different niches, and see what works the best. Now, this is a bit of a process. If you were to start off with one niche and pick the wrong niche, you could kind of force yourself into a situation where things are harder for you and they don't work as quick as they could, which is why for some of you watching this, it might make sense to get some help, some mentoring, or be in a community where at least you can learn from others and figure out what they're doing. If you want information about the program I run, the mentoring I do, there will be information in the description of the video.